Hi, I'm H of the Stage, and a lot of you hated my previous Dimash video that was titled Dimash Fake Performance, Vocal Coach Reacts to Dimash Dudarai. Now, I think we're both grown up enough that we can have a constructive conversation about this, but I only ask of you that you watch this full video before you comment anything. And why am I saying this? Because I have the analytics to prove that a lot of you didn't even watch the last video until the end before you commented. So it actually says that the average view duration of the video was 3 minutes and 51 seconds. And the video is 14.5 minutes long, which means that the average percentage viewed is only 26%. Let's say 27, let's round it up. Not only that, but as you can see the decline in the viewer's attention here, only 12% or 11% of you actually watched the video until the end. Now, if you watched the video until the end, you would understand that, yes, I'm talking about Dimash lip syncing, but never for a second did I say that this was his fault. Never for a second. I love Dimash, but I'm not in love with Dimash, which is a problem that some of you have. You hold this guy as if he's a god, and I just say that he's human. And of course, lip syncing is something that's done in these shows, but I don't really like it. And a lot of comments said like, why do you care if it's lip synced or not? Because I'm a vocal coach. And this is the topic of the channel. We talk about vocal performances. Now, if this was a studio performance, which sounds exactly like a studio performance, then I would just approach it in that way and I would talk about it and I would break down the vocal aspects and interesting things that he does there. But he was faking the performance. He was acting like he was singing that performance when he was not. And might I say, he wasn't even acting to his fullest, abilities. Because even Dimash, I believe, didn't like that it was lip sync. You could see it in his facial expressions. He wasn't really doing too much to prove to me that it was live. That just means that he doesn't like this happening, and then maybe we should stop this. Now, if you were really a Dimash fan, wouldn't you actually go after these TV stations and tell them, why do you make Dimash and the most incredible singer in the world perform like this? He's beyond this. He can sing this without a problem. So why put him to do this? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Now, a different question could be, why Dimash even has to do this? Like, Dimash is not even in his 30s. He's still a very young dude. And if he needs to use lip syncing to preserve his voice, I would ask the question, is his management pushing him too much? Because he's an incredible singer, the biggest range ever, and his vocal performances are way too hard for anybody to sing but him. But still, if he has a lot of concerts and everything, his voice is about to get tired. Even me, when I'm teaching my students and I have a lot of male and female singers in the same day, and I'm trying to approach them, I'm trying to show them everything in their range, I get a bit tired. That's maybe just 2 hours of really singing. Dimash does a full set, like 3-hour set concert, and he does it way too odd. I'm afraid, and I want to preserve his voice by giving him a bit of rest between the shows, and not making him do lip syncing so he can rest on stage and then perform later again. That's just, to me, that's hurtful. I don't know how you can't see this. Another thing, if you paid good money to see somebody live and they're just opening their mouth and not even acting properly that they're singing the song, I would feel robbed. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. That's why I didn't talk about any other vocal techniques here, because I thought that it wasn't appropriate. As I said, if this was a studio version, I wouldn't have any problem talking about it, and I would point out that it was an incredible arrangement, funky, and definitely something that Dimash hasn't done before. It's interesting, but when I see Dimash, who doesn't even put enough effort to fake this performance properly, and he did fake it. I see a lot of comments saying like, we know the Dimash lip sync sometimes, but yet a lot of people still don't know that and still think that he doesn't, And as I said, it's not a big problem if he does, but let's not act like he doesn't. Why? Why are you so in love with the dude that you can't even be real and say, okay, he does that sometimes? I'm saying that he's human, and I want him to be human. I'm not putting him that high up a pedestal and thinking that he's a god, and I'm not in love with him. I love the dude, but I'm not in love with him. Those are two different things. And I just want you to be like, there was this comment saying, I've translated it, Dimash sings a song written 100 years ago, and he sings it so that it penetrates the soul of the heart. He performed this old song, but H of the stage didn't even notice. I'm disappointed. It's very unpleasant to discover such a narrowness of perception in a person whom I respected. I'm unsubscribing, farewell. I appreciate you unsubscribing because I don't want people that are this narrow watching these videos, because I want you to be open and I want you to understand that we're trying to learn here. A lot of you are clicking on these reaction videos just trying to see facial expressions and just being somebody completely happy all the time. But I'm actually watching these videos trying to learn something myself and trying to teach you something. So maybe this is not a channel for you. Completely, I can understand that. Unsubscribe, farewell. I hope you have an amazing life. But don't come to my comment section and tell me, first of all, that I'm not professional, because this is my bachelor's degree here. This is my master's degree here, which says Hrvoje Medjo, which is my name and surname, for those of you who didn't know. Master of Musical Arts in the direction of solo singing. So there. How many of your vocal coaches on YouTube? There are some, but not many have even a degree in singing, and they're just laughing and telling you beautiful things that you want to hear, and they have more likes and more views than me. And that's the name of the game. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to fake my opinions and my facts just because you guys are going to get hurt. Your emotions are going to get hurt.
You can't handle the truth!
So, go and watch somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about, or they're just going to smile and pretend everything is okay, and, you know, enjoy being lied to. I respect Dimash too much, and I know that he doesn't have to lip sync ever, because he's such an incredible singer, he doesn't have to do it. Anybody who makes Dimash lip sync is not loving him too much. Need more proof? Here's one first award of my students. Here's another one, first award. Here's another one from a world championship. All of them were first place. What does that tell you about me? Well, probably that I don't know what I'm talking about, because that's who I am. I just talk shit and I don't like people and I'm not constructive. But if you actually saw the video, you would know that that's bullshit. So let's go to some of your comments. I normally really enjoy watching your reactions, but this one was totally unpleasant to watch. Not because you said that he lip-synced, he mostly did it for the show and I couldn't care less. But because you focused 95% of the video to proving he lip-synced and you just gave off super negative vibes throughout the whole video. No comments on the wonderful song on his vocal abilities. There is so much cool stuff in the song to analyze as a vocal coach. The runs, the whistle notes, the bells, the switch from folk to jazz, etc. But you decided to be grumpy and only talk about him lip-syncing. He still sang the song, probably in a studio, so who cares? We know that he can sing this stuff live, and there were reasons why he couldn't do it at this occasion. If I pay money to watch Dimash live, then I would go to one of his concerts and not to a TV show that might force artists to sing playback. So let's not make a big deal out of this than it is. Sorry, but for this video I can only give thumbs down since it really was not enjoyable. Okay, some of the points that you made were okay. I could have talked about the music and his singing more, but as I said, I'm a vocal coach and I'm not going to talk about a live performance when it wasn't live. That would just make me a liar. And yes, I was grumpy. I was mad that they made Dimash, the best singer who can definitely sing this, they made him do a playback. Like, if they really respected him as an artist, they would allow him to play maybe even a different version, but live. And by the looks of Dimash's face while performing, I would say that he agrees with me because he didn't even try to fake it enough to look like it was a real thing. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can see clearly on Dimash's face that he didn't enjoy this performance. So why are you shocked that I didn't really enjoy it? If this was a studio version, I would totally analyze all of the cool things, but that's the reason why I didn't do it. Also, at his concerts, he also lip-syncs some parts because he has too many concerts one after another and they're just too hard to do. But if I were to say that, you would still want to crucify me. But hey, okay. I have watched and supported every reaction you've done for Dimash for 2+ years now. I'm a big fan of yours. However, the biggest disappointment I have from this one is not whether it's badly edited, whether it's lip-synced or playback. My biggest disappointment is you continuing for 40 minutes to prove and harp on the fact you believe it was. I don't believe it was. I know it was. I'm never disappointed with the truth or someone's opinion, but was it truly necessary just to hammer it to death? If you were wanting to get more views and sell the video, I feel that's a crappy way of doing it. I don't know why I would sell. I mean, I think it's better to sell some positive experiences like I've done before. I didn't sell them. They were positive. But when something is not really positive, I want to tell the truth. Don't you respect that? Like, why would you want me to act like nothing is wrong? Like everything is perfect? Why would you want me to do that? Why can't I say the thing that I see? Is it lip sync? Yes, we can all agree that. Is it live? No, it's not. So what am I to talk about? A vocal performance? There was not a vocal performance here. Yes, I could talk about the studio version. Was this a studio version? Well, it wasn't pitched like that. It was pitched like it was a live performance. So, what's the problem? Tell me that this was a studio version. Just play me a lyric video or anything, and I will talk about everything musical and lyrical and vocally about it. No problem, I would appreciate that. But don't put Dimash on stage where he fakes, where he doesn't even act like he is enjoying the song, and expect me to say, oh, everything is fine, everything is dandy, because it's not. Dimash didn't like the performance, so why would I? You guys are funny. For us that greedily admire Dimash, please remember this, greedily admire. That's the first problem that you have. You're overly admiring Dimash that you can't even hear anything bad about him. For what he is and does, we see no reason to publicly badmouth what he don't like. He's not perfect, nor do we all like everything he does. It was truly raised by if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. This just proves to me that you're one of these 70% that didn't watch this video, because never did I say anything, nor am I saying anything bad in this one, about Dimash. I said bad things about lip syncing and about the TV station that made him do this. How can't you separate those two things? Why? Why are you so blinded by the love of this guy that you haven't even watched the video and that you actually, watch the freaking video? Just watch it. And you'll see that I haven't said anything bad. I was respectful for Dimash throughout the whole time. Not if you mentioned it once because you felt that it was happening, that's fine. But how about also something good about the arrangement? His dobra playing, he's switching up from, well, this is what I'm saying. His dobra playing was also fake. He didn't play it. I mean, he could have played it, but it wasn't amplified. So, it's not really him playing that time. He's switching up from a folk song, rich baritone singing to jazz. I mentioned that. I did mention that. But again, it was all fake. It wasn't played. Even his hand movements weren't completely accurate with the track. And that's just, I don't know how to explain it to you other than I don't want to talk about something that's not happening as if it's happening. It's simple as that. Sorry, but you were disappointed. Okay, fair enough. I'm okay with you guys being disappointed. Lip sync or not, it doesn't matter. He sings and he is amazing as well. Well, I think that it matters because if you are going to see somebody live and you're just hearing a song that's played on a track, because this is what happened to people, you're not even thinking about this. What if that track stopped? What if there was a malfunction and this was live? Dimash would be the laughingstock of this world because that happened to a lot of other artists. I will show you an example. Here's a link that you can watch. Top 20 biggest lip sync fails ever. And most of these artists had such bad lip sync fails that their career ended after that. It's so strange. There was the Ashlee Simpson case. I think she's the most famous one. Look at this. So this is sad as hell. Ashlee Simpson tried to sing this song or tried to start the song. And this is what happened.
On a Monday, I am waiting.
The aforementioned singer was caught red-handed when a backing track started playing the wrong song during their second performance. It then became clear she hadn't been singing at all.
Somebody played the wrong song and she just tried to shake it off with a goofy dance. Do you know what happened after that? She never performed again. Do you want that to happen to Dimash just because somebody forced him to do lip syncing? I don't want that. I don't want all of his hard work to go to waste just because some stupid TV station is making him do this. Because he doesn't like that. He is pretty sure of the risk and still they made him do this. And yet, you come after me. That's why lip syncing matters, damn it. That's why it matters. If this was just for him to rest his voice, I would say, okay, but still don't do it through the whole song. Maybe just take the parts that are really tricky to do when you're playing, you know, because Dimash can't sing all of this. That's just, I can't believe that you guys are not even thinking about that. Here's another cool one. What's your problem? That's easy peasy stuff for Dimash. He mostly sings in chest voice. He's known for not showing strain even when he belts or soars into his colorature soprano at times. He hates lip syncing and only comes to it under constraining circumstances. This is what I'm saying. He hates it, so why should he be forced to do it? Why? Isn't he artistically above all of other singers that we know because he's that incredible? So couldn't he get a pass? Couldn't he even get a pass out of all of these strange TV stations? Couldn't he at least say, okay, I don't want to do this, it's not true to my artistic abilities, either you let me perform real, live, or I don't perform. If he thinks that's a better way to promote, I think he's wrong, because a lot of people proved in the past that lip syncing can go catastrophically for you and can even ruin your whole career. That's why I'm so skeptical and so scared about it. And if it was any other singer but Dimash, if it was anybody who's not that perfect, I would say the hell with it. Try it, go it. But I know that Dimash can do better than this, and I know that he's in the position, I believe that he's that good that he can demand not to sing like that. And I think that they would have to acknowledge that, because Dimash is not anybody. Don't you see that? But I sincerely doubt you would pretend to sing and play this new jazzed up premiere of The Dry. Chinese rules on TV performing are known to be strict. This was in Matsu, though, so I reserve my rights to apologize. Now, a lot of you guys mentioned China's rules, but I doubt that they have a rule like in their country rules that bans lip syncing. I really doubt that. But this was definitely lip sync, and this guy says, okay, this was in Matsao, so he reserves his right to, apologize if this was actually lip sync. But even after listening to Dimash on so many occasions, you clearly don't seem to know him at all, despite your expertise. Your observations do not convince me and allow me to state the obvious. He is by far the most accomplished vocalist and performer of our times. So how am I not an expert? So I've showed you my diplomas, I've showed you my awards, I've done about 100 videos of Dimash, and Dimash even reacted or checked out one of my videos as it was a part of a documentary. And why was my reaction there and not maybe somebody else's? There were a couple of other there, and there are, let me be completely fair, there are a couple of vocal coaches on YouTube that I really appreciate and that are professional as hell, but I can only maybe name 2 or 3 of them. But a lot of these others are fake as fuck and they just want views. But as you can see, my views are not always the best because I'm talking about the truth and people sometimes can't handle the truth. So let's resume here. If you were to watch my last video completely, then you would understand that I never said anything bad about Dimash. I only said bad things about lip syncing and about the TV station that made him sing that. Granted, I could have talked about the musical aspects, about his singing, or at least I could have talked about the vocal performance of the recorded track. But as I already said, I don't want to do that because it was intentionally served to us as a live performance. If it was a studio performance, I would have no problem talking about it. It's cool. It's a very interesting song. I like the switches to the jazz. It was a more upbeat song and I love the direction that Dimash is going to. But this was beyond Dimash's performing abilities because I know that he's a top-class singer and that he could, as the stations, to sing live. They have the ability to let him sing live. Think about it like this. Do you know why these TV stations usually don't let people sing live? Because a lot of other singers sometimes are terrible live and they don't want that on their TV. So they are completely safe and they say, okay, maybe you should just lip sync. That way it will sound decent, a lot of people won't even notice, and we as a TV station will have better ratings and better views. But this is Dimash we're talking about. He will do an amazing live performance. In fact, his live performances are usually even better than the studio performance. And they don't let him perform live. Why? Because they're afraid that Dimash won't sound good live. That's just rubbish. That's just garbage and, but that's what they are thinking. That's why Dimash doesn't like lip syncing. That's why I don't like lip syncing. So me and Dimash here are definitely agreeing here. It's only you that don't agree. And I don't know why. You're actually protecting these TV stations in one point when you're saying that he can lip sync. Yes, I could have talked about other things besides lip syncing, but I was just so angry that they made Dimash do this that I couldn't talk about anything else. If you want, I can go back to the song and talk about it in a different tone, but I was just so sick of the lip syncing, and I'm still so sick of it. I just hate lip syncing and these rules at the TV stations that I just couldn't talk about anything more positive. It was just, it overwhelmed me. So maybe that was my fault. I was a bit too angry, and I can apologize for that. I'm human as well. But other than that, I didn't say absolutely anything bad about Dimash. Please go and watch the full video. I've already shown you the analytics. Not a lot of you have watched that video, so please don't comment and talk shit when you haven't even watched the video. If you have watched it, then I could understand that you don't agree with me. That's all fine and dandy. We don't have to agree with everything. We're just human. We will never agree on everything. But I know what I think about Dimash, and nobody in this world is going to change my opinions about him. He's an incredible singer. I dare to say best singer in the world, but he's live incredible. He's an amazing artist, multi-instrumentalist, sings in, like 9 languages. I mean, what's not to like about him? So how for a second would you think that I didn't like Dimash? I just didn't like the TV station and the lip syncing that they made him do. And Dimash didn't like it as well. If you were to watch his facial expressions and the way that he tried to perform, it feels like just at one point he even gave up. He didn't even try to do it he didn't even try to act it the way that he could. So that just proves to me that he didn't like that performance. I'm actually surprised that his team posted it on his channel. But at the same time, I think they're forcing him to do a lot of concerts, a lot of things. And they're just giving him this tempo that is not humanly okay. I think he might burn out at one point, because this is what happened even to K-pop artists, and that people are just squeezing him too much. And Dimash, especially being this great, they want to squeeze every single buck out of him, and I'm afraid for his mental health at times. I'm afraid for his vocals. I want to preserve Dimash so we can enjoy his music and his beautiful persona for as long as we can. But if somebody is really forcing him to do this, then we're going to watch a very short career, and I don't want that to happen. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.